Hi, I'm Jim Harrowell. I'm a lawyer based in Sydney with the law firm Hicksons Hunt & Hunt. I've been here for nearly 50 years. My main areas of specialisation traditionally have been in litigation. I appear as an advocate in most of the courts in Australia, occasionally the High Court. We do a lot of advocacy in our firm rather than brief barristers, so it's on your feet advocacy. But I've also done a number of commercial matters and also done work in China, in arbitrations in China. Hicksons Hunt & Hunt is a national law firm in Australia. We have offices across Australia. We currently have 3 offices in Sydney, in fact, but we do work around the country. The guys who work for our Commonwealth client, the Department of Home Affairs, for instance, do court hearings over visa applications by ABL all over Australia. Most of my clients are private clients or corporates, but in recent times I've also done quite a number of corruption inquiries in Australia, both in our Independent Commission Against Corruption in New South Wales, where I've just finished a 13-week hearing relating to $22.5 million stolen from the Department of Transport in New South Wales. But I've done a mix of things. I've acted for the Australian Submarine Corporation on building our Collins-class submarine, shortly to be replaced by British and American submarines. I've done some large construction contracts. The biggest case there was a dispute relating to the building of the Moomba to Sydney gas pipeline, which runs over several thousand kilometres. So it's been a mix of legal work over the years. One of the highlights was when the Australian government was trying to claim copyright over the designs of the Australian submarines. Even though I was supposed to be sort of on the same side, because the Commonwealth owned half of the Submarine Corporation, I actually was successful in defeating the Commonwealth's argument and establishing that they didn't have any intellectual property in the submarines. After I ceased acting, there was a subsequent appeal, and the law firm acting then came second on the appeal, so I was quite happy with my result. And other major cases, I've done a number of arbitration cases relating to the trade in cattle and wool to China. And it's been pleasing to actually win those arbitrations in Beijing and actually recover damages for our clients. Well, one of the reasons for joining is that we've always tried to have an international outreach here. Our firm's been a member of Interlaw, which is a big association of lawyers, about 70 firms around the world. It's smaller than this network that you're talking about, but it's based on very heavily on personal relationships. And I served on the board of Interlaw, and I was also the international chairman of Interlaw. So I had considerable experience on issues facing lawyers and law firms all around the world, and also coming to grips where the language of Interlaw was English, but our Latin American friends used to gang up on Brazil, who spoke Portuguese, and then they'd send furious emails in Portuguese and Spanish to me in Sydney, and I had to get one of our Spanish speakers to craft an email in reply. We have an expression in Australia: everyone needs a cup of tea and a Bex, which is like an aspirin, and a good lie down. And I thought that would close the email debate that was focused on me. And then everyone said, Jim speaks Spanish, which I don't. So That was a lesson of not getting into an email chain when you don't need to. But I've travelled an awful lot in the law. I've been all over the world with Interlaw. I even had the unusual experience as chairman of Interlaw of hosting a dinner on the Royal Yacht Britannia, which is now in Edinburgh, and hosted. It was quite a weird feeling, sitting in the Queen's chair, hosting a state dinner on that ship.